1,
2,
3,
4.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Your favorite emotions are back on the big screen in Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. Critics are raving. It's another Pixar classic and a true joy for the entire family.
Are we in a dream right now?
Inside Out 2 is absolute perfection and an unforgettable cinematic experience.
You're gonna love this.
So don't miss the movie event of the summer.
Time to celebrate!
Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
There's a part 2? We're going!
Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters. Get tickets now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. I am one of your hosts, Precious D.
And I am the other one of your hosts, Honey Bee.
Honeybee and I are two best friends making our way through the history of kaiju movies. We started in 1933 with King Kong, and today we are up to 2006 with the South Korean epic monster film, as Wikipedia describes it, The Host. Honeybee, I don't understand why this movie is called The Host, and
Same.
I'm just finding out a few minutes ago that the Korean title is Gwomul, which literally means monster. So now there is another movie around this time called Monster. Let me check the date on that. All right, so that didn't come out until the next year, so that can't be the reason they changed the title. So
I don't know, but there were several
times.
times where I thought, oh, here it is. This is what, nope. Oh, here it is. This, nope. And literally my last note was, well, I don't know why it's called The Host.
I mean, it could be the host of the virus, except it turns out that maybe there's not a virus.
There isn't a virus. It's
So,
all
I
faked
don't-
by the government. Cough, cough.
Well, no, I think they not faked so much as they misidentified something early on, and then it took them a while to figure out, oh, that wasn't...
It didn't take them that long. They still kept fucking up, even though people knew that there had been
I mean,
misinformation.
I think we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but it's okay. I think there was something wrong with the American Soldier and possibly something viral wrong with the American Soldier, but it may have been a coincidence that it showed up after the monster attack, and they just
Right.
assumed it was caused by the monster. So, because there was something weird going on with him. So maybe he was maybe something connected with his military service exposed him to this virus and not the monster. But they never clear that up. This movie is, as I said, from South Korea. Came out in 2006. It is directed by Bong Joon-ho.
Damn, that's the coolest name I've ever heard in my life.
Who
Bong
is now-
Joon-ho. I wish that was my name.
He's quite well known now because after this he directed Snowpiercer and Okja and Parasite,
Oh.
which I believe got an Academy Award, didn't it, for Best Foreign Film?
I have no idea, but I've heard of those films.
Yeah. And then there's another one. I'll get back to it in a minute. But really, you're not going to tell me? Oh, accolades. Screen Actors Guild. Seriously, Wikipedia. Yes, Best Picture at the 95th Academy Awards.
Nice.
And he's got something coming out next year called Mickey 17. It's a science fiction film. So we're not going to get too... So this was his third film. His first two were Barking Dogs Never Bite and Memories of Murder. So this is kind of right in the middle. Oops. It's kind of right in the middle of his career. The cast is Song Kang-ho as Park Gang-do, Byun Hee Bong as Park Hee Bong. Park Hae Il as Park Nam Il. Huh. Did he just change one part of these people's name? Bai Duna as Park Nam Ju. Go Ah Sung as Park Hoon So. Oh Dai Soo as the voice of the monster. Lee Jae Eung as Se Jin. Lee Dong Ho as Se Ju. Those are the two homeless boys. Yoon Ji Moon as he's the homeless man that helps the guy near the end. Yim Pil Sung as Nam Il's senior. Fat Guevara. Kim Roy Ha as Yellow One. Somebody at the funeral. Park No Sik as the inquiry officer. Go Soo-hee as the hostage nurse. David Joseph Anselmo as Donald White, the white guy in the movie. Actually, there's another white guy. Scott Wilson as the U.S. military doctor.
As the other white
Who
guy.
orders... That's the guy. Oh, there's actually two guys. I thought they were the same guy. All these white guys. They look alike. He's the first doctor who orders the guy to dump the chemicals. Paul Laser is the American doctor who speaks with Gang Do about finding his daughter and reveals a truth. Brian Lee as the young Korean doctor, assistant to the U.S. military doctor. That's the guy that did the dumping in the beginning. This movie is based on a true story. Not the monster part.
Oh.
the part that causes the monster. The scene in the beginning. It is true that an American military doctor ordered his Korean assistant to dump a bunch of chemicals into the river. And this happened in 2000. He was a mortician working for the U.S. military in Seoul. And it was formaldehyde, just like in the movie. Mm-hmm. And I guess this got out and caused a bit of a kerfuffle. And then we have we also have the Agent Yellow later in the film, which is reminiscent of Agent Orange from the Vietnam War, I think. Yes, Vietnam, not the Korean War, but for some reason this Korean movie is concerned with it.
Initial thoughts?
I saw this when it first came out,
shit.
on video. I didn't see it in the theater, but I'd heard a lot about it, and so I bought it on probably video cassette tape, when it was new. And I quite liked it then, and I like it again now.
Hell yeah, brother.
The CGI is pretty good. Certainly better than the last South Korean movie we saw from just a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's aight.
It's a little dated, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are like, God damn, this movie starts strong. Like, it is, like, the movie starts strong. But there were some parts in the movie where something would happen and I would go, wait, I don't really get it. Oh, well, it's okay. And then, like, the next part would happen, I would be like, shit, maybe I should understand because now I'm really lost. And as the movie progressed, I feel like it definitely lost some of its fire from the beginning, but still loved it. Yeah, I thought it was incredible. Okay. But it definitely is stronger start than a finish. The finish was a little compared to the beginning.
It kind of goes against genre expectations by showing the monster very early and showing it in full and in broad daylight. We see the monster most of the time. We just see the whole damn monster in daylight.
Which the monster is amazing. Like, the monster is so cool. The design is just like so cool. I love the monster. And I love watching him run or whatever he's doing in like the slow motion. It's just so good.
It really looks like a messed up mutation. Like something that's not really quite supposed to be like that. Like it's got like maybe too many legs and not all of them seem fully functional. Things like that. So I agree. It was really good.
Yeah, so good.
I have A plot here from Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. In 2000, an American military pathologist orders his Korean assistant to dump 200 bottles of formaldehyde down a drain leading into the Han River. And didn't I just say that's when it actually happened? Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's when he first started thinking about this movie. Over the next several years, there are sightings of a strange amphibious creature in the waterways, and the fish in the river die off. In 2006, a slow-witted man named Park Gang-do runs a small snack bar in a park near the river with his father. Did you think that was too harsh?
I mean, kind of. Like, geez.
His father, Hee-bong. I mean, he's not presented. Everybody in this movie actually is presented as a little incompetent.
It's so crazy
That's
because
one of the themes.
they're all kind of presented as like dumbasses, but they are the most resourceful survivalists known to man. Yeah. Every single one of them. Like they're kind of like like a little like haha goofy, slow in some ways they're portrayed that way, but then like, you know, they're pulling out fucking shotguns out of nowhere or bow and arrows or taking, you know, clothes off of dead people to make a fucking ladder. Like these people are resourceful. They do appear to be kind of dumb, but throughout the whole movie, like every time something else would happen, I'm like, God damn, these people are survivors for sure.
Yeah, right. But I don't just mean them. The government, the police, the doctors. They're all kind of. No one's a great big shining hero in this movie. Everybody's kind of incompetent and doesn't really know what they're doing.
I think Gang-do kind of ends up being the shining hero when he. Yeah.
Other family members are Gang-do's daughter, Hyun-so, his sister Nam-ju, a national medalist archer, and his brother Nam-il, an alcoholic college graduate and former political activist. This is very Chekhov's bow and arrow. It takes quite some time to pay off. A huge creature emerges from the Han River and begins attacking people, leaving many of them dead. Gang-do tries to grab his daughter from the crowd and run, but he realizes he has grabbed the wrong person's hand.
Ugh, this whole
scene. And he sees the creature
scene.
Snatching away. Yeah.
This scene is so good. The way that they kind of slow everything down to make it kind of just seem like maybe at like half speed or even like 75 speed, and like the way that the sound slows down and you're watching this giant monster just destroy people. There's like one specific death in the very beginning. This is definitely a kill count movie because there's so freaking many. But there's this one where this girl is like listening to classical music in her headphones, and it's just like you can hear the music in her headphones, and then the monster just wipes her out. It's shocking, and it's right in the first 15 minutes of the movie, so it's so good. But this scene where he's trying to grab his daughter, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens before that. Like, we see these people kind of run into a, what is it? It's like a train car. It's not, but that's what it looks like. I can't think of what it's
some
called.
Kind of a trailer.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a trailer. I'm not sure what its purpose was. But yeah, that was good. And
it was
what's
so
his name? Donald?
good.
What was the American's name? Was it Donald? Or was it Doug? Let me look him up again.
I think it was Doug.
I said it earlier. Donald. It is Donald.
Oh.
There's just this random white guy in the crowd. Basically, the director had seen him in some movie and wanted him to come be in it. And I think one of the themes in this movie is American-Korean relations. Because our inciting incident is a result of American-Korean relations. And that's sort of hinted at throughout the movie. But our most direct interaction is with this guy, Donald. He and Gang-do are trying to fight the monster during this initial attack. They try to attack it with some kind of a street sign. And then the American, who turns out to be a soldier, as we mentioned earlier, ends up getting badly hurt. And I think that all happens before the daughter goes.
Yeah.
he grabbed the wrong person's hand, and he sees the creature snatching away Hyun So and diving back into the river. When we first see the creature, it is hanging from underneath the bridge. So the family runs this snack bar, basically, near the shore of the river where people hang out. People picnic there and stuff. And we just see this creature hanging by its tail from underneath the bridge. And then it sort of uncurls itself and falls into the water and then swims over. People start throwing things at it. And it comes out and then it starts its rampage. And at the end of it, it snatches a little girl and it's got a guy in his mouth, I think. It's holding the girl by its tongue.
Which this part
And
is
jumps
really
back in the river.
shocking.
After a mass funeral for the victims, which they mentioned we see the sister on TV failing in her archery.
Well, this part is really
and
the
ending up
part
with a bronze medal.
where the girl gets snatched is really shocking because we've already kind of fallen in love with her through meeting her dad and her grandpa, and then her and her grandpa are watching her aunt, this archer, on TV lose this medal, and or no, it's her. It's not her grandpa. It's her dad. I think it's her and her dad at first, and then he ends up like leaving. But he shares a beer with her. And he's like giving her a beer. It's so cute. It's this really cute kind of wholesome moment, and it's really funny. And we also get this whole part where her dad is following her around, and you can just tell how much he loves her, and he'll do anything for her. She wants a new cell phone, and he's like collecting these coins or stealing them, whatever. And we just like kind of get this like really wholesome moment with her. So when she gets snatched by the monster, it's sort of shocking because we've already kind of established like a relationship with her specifically because of how the dad is like loves her so much.
Yeah. So at the funeral, they mentioned the uncle or brother, depending on who we're referring to him in relation to. They mentioned that he drinks too much. He picked up the little girl at school, but she smelled alcohol on him. So at the funeral, we find where it's basically just like a gymnasium or something with a bunch of pictures lined up on the wall. We get the rest of the family all together at once, and the brother uncle comes in just really mad, telling his brother what a terrible father he is, and he's got a bottle in his hand. He's drunk already, and they are literally falling over each other in their grief, which I think was meant to be humorous, both tragic and humorous at the same time.
It was awkward.
It's just so over the top. Yeah. So after the mass funeral for the victims, government representatives and the American military arrive and quarantine people. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not just a mass funeral. They're also, the area's been evacuated, and it's sort of a refugee situation where people are being put up in a school gym or something like that. And then the military come in and start quarantining anyone that had contact with the creature, including Gangdu and his family.
Yeah, we got to talk about this
that the creature is,
because we kind of have like a whale god moment in this, because someone is like in his family, someone is like, when a monster kills someone in your family, you rip it limb from limb. We all have to attack this thing. And I was like, oh no, here we go.
Right.
God damn it. But luckily it did not go in that direction. But then, when they're like, okay, did anyone else come in contact with this thing? And then, like, Gangdu's like, well, I didn't touch it, but it's blood sprayed on my face. And then they just grab his ass and drag him and his whole family because they're like, okay, well, now you have this, like, fucking deadly virus. It's just very dramatic.
If that were the cause of the virus, that would be a good way of getting it. Getting sprayed in the face with its blood. It is announced that the creature is the host of a deadly unknown virus, so I think Wikipedia thinks that that's what the title is about. Gangdu receives a phone call from Hyun So, which is funny because they were she was complaining about how shitty her phone was, but she is able to call him on it. She explains that she is trapped in the sewers with the creature, but her phone stops working. Gangdu and his family escape the hospital and purchase supplies from gangsters in order to search for Hyun So.
The escape the hospital sequence
two-
is so good, and the music while it's happening is fucking hilarious.
I think they're also paying the gangsters for helping them escape.
Yeah.
I believe the gangsters facilitate the escape. Yeah, that whole bit was crazy.
It's so
And the
good.
one cop running after them. Two homeless boys, Si Jin and Si Ju, after raiding He Bong's snack bar for food, are attacked and swallowed by the creature. It returns to its sleeping area in the sewer and regurgitates them, but only Si Ju is alive.
Or is this when we learn about is it pronounced like Siori? Siari? It's like where the kids are stealing. It's like an old
I think they're
borrowing.
pronouncing it sorry.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're poor or a kid, it's okay to steal food. It doesn't count as stealing.
It's called
Because when they're raiding the place,
borrowing game.
yeah, one of the kids the younger kid starts to take the money, and he says, "No, can't take the money. That would be stealing." He's like, "But we're stealing this food." And he's like, "No, that's not stealing. That's just sorry."
Yeah.
There was something. I thought there was something in this Wikipedia article about that, but where it said there's not a real good English translation for the term. It does also seem to have an element of pranking to it.
I didn't get that.
No, just in the thing I read, not.
Oh, I see.
So they got the supplies from the gangsters. The two homeless boys, after raiding He Bong snack bar, regurgitated. Okay, but only Si Ju is alive. Hyun Soo helps Si Ju hide inside a drain pipe where the creature cannot reach them. The Parks encounter the creature.
So wait,
and
did we
shoot at
talk
it
about this?
until they
Did we
run
talk-
out of ammo?
Did we talk about this? Like at some point we see that the creature's not eating anybody. It's just like swallowing them and then like taking them to the sewer and like puking them up. Very weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's. I don't know if it's saving them. Well, maybe it's eating some of them and saving others for later.
Yeah, because this is what I thought was going to happen, right? Because we see
Yeah,
like
because there's
him
definitely
puke them
a
up,
bunch of bones.
but that's way later. We don't see bones until way later.
Right, but I'm saying it may be saving, maybe collecting food and saving it for later.
What I kept thinking was going to happen was it was like getting these hosts so that it could like alien some babies in there.
Right.
And because like but it never does that. That's what I kept like expecting and like waiting for. Like, okay, it's saving them so it can like plant eggs in them, and then the babies will have something to eat when they explode out of them. But that never happened.
So anyway, the Parks encounter the creature and shoot at it until they run out of ammunition. The creature kills He Bong due to Gang Do miscalculating the remaining shells in his shotgun when he gives it to He Bong because they're all dumbasses.
That was sad.
Yeah. He's like, I have one shot left. He's like, give me your gun and I'll hold it off. And then click.
But we gotta. But
Gang
before
is
that
captured by the
happens,
army.
hold on. Before that happens, there's this moment where the dad is like telling the brother and sister, like, "Hey, you guys, quit treating him like shit. When he was a kid, he didn't get enough
arrest him.
protein, and that's why he's dumb. And fuck you. Don't make fun of him, because he is my kid." And he says something about smelling his farts, and he can tell if he like what condition he's in according to his farts. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? But it was just so funny.
He also mentions the sorry that he wasn't home enough and the kid had to go out and practice sorry on his own to take care of himself.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
But then
Gang Do is captured by the army. Yes.
No, I was gonna say but then, and then you keep going.
Right. Yes. He's captured by the army, and Nam Il and Nam June become separated from each other. Nam Il meets an old friend, Fat Guevara. Don't know why he's called that, because he's not Mexican, at an office building to ask for help, and learns the government has placed a bounty on his family. This is also, I think, something political with Korea, that Fat Guevara used to be into like student protests and stuff, but now he's not. He's kind of sold out. Unbeknownst to Nam, Fat Guevara has contacted the government so he can claim the bounty. But Nam is able to escape after obtaining Hyun Soo's location. And yeah, as he's escaping, even though his friend has set him up, as he's escaping, he sort of raises his fist in support of him as he's
I know. I was like, fuck you, bro.
He's trying to have
like,
it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So annoying. I was kind of confused at this point of like how much time has passed. It doesn't really tell us or give us any. I'm a little bit confused here is when I kind of really started getting confused about things. I'm like, wait, like, okay, so they got separated in the sewer. They haven't seen each other since. Now he's being set up. I'm just like, how much fucking time has passed? Like, how long has this baby been in the sewer? These poor kids, they have nothing to eat.
I think
and
this
just
is
like,
the second night.
Right.
I think
It's
this
got to
is
be
maybe
like
the
only
second,
a few
or maybe
days.
third, yeah, it can't be more than a week. The whole thing's not more than a week.
Yeah.
But they had early on, they'd asked the policeman to try and track the cell phone call, and he refused to do it or even believe there'd been a call.
Mm-hmm.
And this friend of his says he can help with that, so that's why he's teaming up with this guy. But it turns out he's
A setup.
He's
a fucking rat.
He's turned him in.
He's a snake and a
They're
rat.
waiting to before they arrest him to see if he can find out where the sister is, but he doesn't actually know. Gang-do overhears an American scientist say that there is no virus. It was made up to distract people from the creature's origin. Does he say that it was made up? I thought he just implied that it was a mistake. Because he says, he does. It's not made up. Because he says they looked for it. They looked all over for it, and he's still looking for it because he thinks, this is not correct. This is not correct. It says they decide to lobotomize Gang-do to silence him. No, that's not correct. Wikipedia, you are incorrect. They think the virus is in his brain, that they've looked everywhere else and they can't find it. And rather than concluding that there is no virus, they conclude that the only place left to look is his brain, and they want to take a sample of his brain to get the virus. It's not to silence him.
I don't know. It just seems weird. The way that the scientist is like saying all of this information, like the way he's telling the other guy, it seems very made up to me. Because it's like the way he's telling, he's like, they didn't find anything. And he's like, it's almost like it's like a joke to him or something. And it's like, he's like, it just feels very, he's doing this gang-do lobotomy thing for sport. It just feels gross.
I didn't take it that way. I didn't interpret it that way. I thought he was sincere that this was going to give him the information he wanted. But they do partly drill in his brain, tap into his brain, and this kind of changes him.
Yeah.
His behavior after this is changed. He becomes a little more proactive.
He is our hero.
When she thinks the creature is sleeping, well, yeah, because he had a brain surgery. When she thinks the creature is sleeping, Hyun Soo tries to escape from its lair using a rope she's made from old clothes. Well, from the clothes of bodies. The creature awakes and swallows Hyun Soo and Si-ju.
Wait.
Gang-do succeeds in escaping. What?
Okay. Because he doesn't just that's not how it happens. Because like first the kids like have that conversation about what food they'll eat, and she's like, we have a whole store, you can have anything you want. And he's like, I want banana milk. She's like, yeah, I got you. He's like, I want rum. And she's like, yeah, I got you. She's like, you know what, I want a beer, because that's what the last thing she had before she got yoinked with her dad was a beer. And then the fucking monster happens to throw up a beer, which I was like, that's fucked up. He just happens to throw up a beer.
This might be the same. It might be the same beer her father threw at him when he was the first one to throw something at it, and it grabbed the beer and ate it. And then people started throwing other things at it, I think, thinking it was going to eat them, but it just attacked instead.
Yeah, so then
I think
before
it's meant to be the same beer.
So the beer thing happens, then dad gets lobotomized, and then he like busts out of there, and I'm like, what in the military cookout is going on right here? There's just like a white dude barbecuing ribs like right outside of when he like busts out. I was like, what the hell? But then we get this whole moment, and this moment is so cool. I really love this, that they put this. They're like, okay, it's the little girl is like looking up, the monster's like asleep. and she's like trying to figure out how to like get up, like get over him, and she's like, I'm gonna save us, I'm gonna do this, and she's like thinking about it, and she's like, okay, I got it, and she like runs up his back.
The rope. So they used like a policeman's baton as a grapple for their rope, but when they threw it up there, they're in the sewer and there's a grate above them. They throw it up there and it catches in the grate, but then the end of the rope is too high for them to reach.
Right.
So yes, then what you're about to describe.
So she runs up the monster, grabs it. The monster like grabs her and then like puts her down, but stays asleep. And this is kind of like a weird moment, and you might think it's unbelievable. But then you know what they did? The smartest thing they could have done is they then show a spider on her shirt crawling, and she doesn't necessarily feel it at first. And then she kind of sees it and is like, oh, a spider. And it made so much sense to me that they were like kind of showing you this, like, if you're this small compared to this big thing and it's just like crawling up you may just swash it away, right?
Right.
And like not even notice it. And I thought that was so brilliant how they did that with her climbing up the monster and then like the little spider on her. It was like it was chef's kiss. I just love that.
Yeah. So, Gangdu succeeds in escaping from where he is being held by taking a nurse hostage. Nam Il meets a homeless man who helps him. He sends a message to his sister to meet him at the bridge, and then he goes there and falls asleep.
And she's just been sleeping in this pillar like a fucking badass.
Yeah. The government announces a plan to release a toxic chemical called Agent Yellow into the river to attempt to kill the creature. Is that what they say, or they say it's going to kill the virus? I'm not sure. Gangdu finds the creature and sees Hyunsu's arm dangling out of its mouth. He chases it to the location where Agent Yellow is to be released, coming across Namju along the way. And there's a whole bunch of people protesting. That's the next sentence. The creature attacks the large crowd that is assembled to protest the chemical dump. And the mechanism that dumps the chemical was designed to sort of resemble the creature itself. Agent Yellow is released, which stuns the creature. Gangdu pulls Hyunsu out of its mouth, but she is dead. That's right, folks.
Dead
this
as
movie
a doornail.
Kills a child. We've seen a few more movies where they kill a child, but it's usually early on and off screen.
Not this one.
Like the alligator one, and what was the one with Shelley Winters? Was that also an alligator? Or no, that was an octopus one, I think. I think that was the octopus one. But yeah, she is dead.
And
throughout
it's so
this whole
crazy.
sequence, I was like, is no one gonna even try some CPR, some mouth to mouth, something? They shake her and they hold her and they cry, but they do not attempt to actually do anything that would revive her.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. What's so crazy about this to me is like the whole movie is about her and like trying to save her, and we literally get to her probably a minute, not even a full 60 seconds after she dies.
Yes.
I was like, damn it.
Which is because everybody's incompetent except for her, because she is still clutching Si-ju, who is unconscious but alive. Mm-hmm. Gangdu, enraged at his daughter's death, attacks the creature, aided by Nam-il, Nam-jun, and the homeless man. They set it on fire, and Gangdu impales it with a pole. Oh, they don't... Oh, come on, guys. All right, so they throw... what's his name? Nam-il has assembled a bunch of Molotov cocktails, and he throws... he keeps missing the creature with them. But the homeless guy gets up above it and dumps a bunch of gasoline directly on it. And then... And
it drinks it.
The sister comes with her... Yes, it drinks some of it. The sister, his last Molotov cocktail, he's like, okay, it's covered with gasoline now. It's standing right there. I'm going to throw this last bomb at it. And he slips and falls behind him.
Hysterical.
But... the sister comes and sticks the end of her arrow in the burning piece of cloth that's left over and shoots a flaming arrow into the creature, and that's what sets it on fire.
And
So I can't believe
also,
they were just going to gloss over that.
by the way, all of this Agent Yellow shit is also killing a bunch of people as well, and like they're like bleeding out of their ears and
Yes.
shit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be bothering our family, but some people are getting some kind of chemical burns and are
They do
inhaling it and-
bleed. The family
coughing
bleeds out
up
of their
blood.
ears, but yeah, they don't seem to actually like emotionally react. Yeah, their ears do bleed though.
So Gang Du impales it with a pole, finally killing it. As they mourn for Hyun Soo, Gang Du revives Si Ju. Sometime later, it is seen that Gang Du has inherited his father's snack bar and adopted Si Ju. While watching the river, he hears a noise. Well, first, they're watching TV, and they're doing some kind of government report. Here's where they're revealing that, oh, sorry, folks, turns out there wasn't a virus.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid is like, let's just turn it off and enjoy our food. Then, while watching the river, he hears a noise and picks up a bolt-action rifle to investigate, but finds nothing. He and Si Ju have a meal together, ignoring a news broadcast stating the aftermath of the incident was due to misinformation. So there.
But
you
what
go.
what I don't get about the ending though is like when they pan out, I don't know, it just like they like panned out and they're just like in the trailer in the middle of nowhere. There's like nothing around them. I was like, what is I don't get
Oh, I
the
think-
ending. Was like he waiting for the another monster or like
Yeah. Well, they were in their normal location, but it was winter and it was snowing, and all you can see is the snack bar, which apparently they live in.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just pulling out to show us that it was quiet and there wasn't a monster. But he's vigilant now. He's always going to be on the lookout for another monster, even though there might never be one.
Yeah.
But I think it might partially be also showing us that now he is aware.
Mm-hmm.
He was asleep, and they actually make a deal about him literally being asleep a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
The scene you were talking about earlier when the dad's telling the brother and sister to leave him alone, he's fallen asleep. Somehow, in the midst of all of this chaos, he's managed to fall asleep, which he had also done earlier. And they're making fun of him for it and deriding him for it. And his father's telling them it's because he didn't have enough protein as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But now he is vigilant and aware and awake. And I think that's a part of what was going
The
on
point,
there at the
yeah.
end.
Okay. I'll accept it.
So, Honeybee, what did you think of The Host?
Man, I really thought it was such a good movie. It really is great. There are some things that I just didn't quite get, or like I don't know if it was just like a lost in translation thing, or maybe I blinked. I don't know. I was writing a note and I missed something, but it was good. I mean, the beginning within the first 15 minutes, I was like, ugh, 5 stars, and then like as the movie kind of like went on, I was like, okay, 4.5, okay, 4. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. I think I watched it on Hulu, maybe.
It's on a bunch of... I have a digital copy, but it is on a bunch of the things.
Yeah, it's great.
Let me check.
I did really, really enjoy it. I was surprised at how good it was. The monster is just amazing. There was one thing I didn't get. Maybe you can explain it to me. There was like a point kind of towards the end of the movie, I would say, where the monster's just like flopping around like rah, and like a dead fish just falls off of the side of him. And then the camera pans on this like
Right.
floppy weird fish. And I'm like, what is happening?
I don't know. I thought that was meant to sort of imply where the monster came from.
What?
But I don't know why. I don't think he coughed it up. It did seem like a piece of him fell off, and that piece was
Yeah.
a fish. But maybe the fish just got caught up in his folds or whatever.
In his folds. Ew.
But I think they were trying to show us that it's basically a mutated fish from the river.
Okay.
By showing us this regular fish. It is on Hulu, Peacock, Prime, Zumo, whatever that is, Sling, and Plex.
Nice.
And it says Philo with a subscription. If you have Philo, I think it's included. And then, of course, you can buy or rent it. If you have a premium YouTube, it's on there too, but you can also rent or buy it from them and from all the other places.
Nice.
So,
Highly recommend. How
There
many
you go,
stars are
folks.
you going to give the host, Precious?
I'm going to give it 5. I'm going to straight up give it 5 stars.
Cool. I'm going to give it 4. I do think it's like, I think it's a 5-star movie for sure, but it just got, it just slowed down for me a bit, and the ending was a little bit weird, but I loved it. I'll definitely watch it again.
Okay, there you go, folks. The Host, 4 to 5 stars, playing in several places for you to watch. What is our next movie, Honeybee?
Primeval or something like that?
Are we sure? Yes, Primeval. Another giant crocodile movie or alligator movie, some kind of crocodilian, based on a true story.
Ooh. Like this one was based on a true story?
More definitely, not just a
Okay.
little more directly based on a true story than this one.
Nice.
I wasn't sure, so this was just on that list I downloaded long ago. This was included, and I wasn't sure if it really counted, but then when I watched it, I thought, okay, this kind of acts like even though it's a little more based in reality than most of these movies, it kind of behaves like a monster in a monster movie. So I was like, yeah, sure, we'll go ahead and do it.
Fuck yeah.
So, folks, you can find links to all of our things at mmftg.com, which of course stands for Monster Movie Fun Time Go. Ow! You can support the show by becoming a patron at patreon.com/mmftg. And as long as we have a manageable number of patrons, you can request a movie for us to review. I will be releasing our Mask episode soon, and we will be recording our Gone with the Wind episode soon. So if you care about those or interested in those, you can join our Patreon to listen to them.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, folks. There's sirens in the background, folks. I can't wait for them to be gone. I'm just gonna keep going.
I can't hear him anymore, if that makes you feel better.
We get a lot of sirens around here. So anyway, until next week, folks. I have been. Oh, hold on. Where can people see? Oh no, they can't see Primeval. I had to have a friend acquire it. You're gonna have to basically buy Primeval. It's not streaming free anywhere. So sorry about that. Anyway, until next week, I have been Precious D.
And I have been Honeybee.
Remember to keep calm and take shelter in basements.
And please, don't misuse science.
We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go.
Yeah.
You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review us on your podcasting platform of choice. Our theme song is by the Texacato Folk Rock Punk featuring Lita Lopez. You can support the show, find links to our social media, and even leave us a voice message at anchor.fm/mmftg.
Fun time go!